Pittsburgh Steelers outside linebacker TJ Watt exposes that the NFL has something against him, and that's why he gets no holding penalty calls. And also, Jalen Warren, after the game, says that they took the Cardinals lightly and they shouldn't have. So, we're going to start off with TJ Watt's situation because after the game, he was asked in the media about not getting penalty calls when the offensive line is clearly holding him, and he voiced some frustration. But first, let me just talk about TJ Watt's game overall. So, he came into the game and he was a little bit of a bright spot for the Steelers. As usual, he had 6 combined tackles, a half a sack, and a batted ball down at the line of scrimmage. But late in the game, after the game had already gotten away from the Steelers, Watt appeared to be injured on a play where he was clearly held by the Cardinals' offensive tackle. And then after the game, Watt was asked about this in his post-game press conference, and he talked about not getting holding calls from the officials. This is what he had to say. Yup, I don't know. The NFL has something going against me, so I don't want to talk about it any more negatively towards them. I don't know what I did, but I'll leave it at that. So obviously, that's what he had to say, and he voiced some frustration about the NFL not giving him penalty calls and said that they have something going against him, but obviously he doesn't want to get fined. He probably still is going to get fined based off just those comments alone, but he probably didn't want to go more into depth about it. But it's kind of frustrating, even just as a fan watching it, because you look at it and you could see at least on 20%, at least on 20% of his snaps, he gets hold and he gets held and he never gets a penalty called. Last game against the Cardinals, just watching it, it seemed like every other play he was getting held, and that play where he got injured on, I actually did see it when I was watching it live. I seen him get held, not even on the replay, the actual live play, and you could tell 100% that the offensive line is holding them. And that wasn't the only play where the offensive line held them, because they hold them all game and they did not call a penalty, and they never do. And it seems like TJ Watt never gets the credit that he deserves either, just around the NFL, because despite almost always producing more than the other elite pass rushers in the NFL, it seems like he's always stuck in the shadows of players like Myles Garrett, Micah Parsons, Nick Bosa, and Aaron Donald. And it's kind of unclear why, but it seems like whenever people get talked about, it's never TJ Watt. TJ Watt's always put on the back burner, and it's always these guys getting talked ahead of TJ Watt. Meanwhile, TJ Watt, the last few years, whenever he's healthy, he's always at the top of the leader in sacks, tackles for loss, and stuff like that. But he never gets talked about and never gets the credit that he deserves. Maybe is the NFL having something against him? Maybe it's just him not getting the credit from the national media, but something's going on, and TJ Watt sees it, and they obviously have something against him, he feels like. Also, looking at the play in the game against the Cardinals, where TJ Watt got his sack, where Kyler Murray kind of went down and TJ Watt tapped him, which counts as a sack, he was given half a sack on the play, which I don't understand, because usually if a quarterback goes down, the first person to tap the guy gets the sack. But obviously, they saw TJ Watt tap him, and then maybe like half a second or a second later, Alex Highsmith tapped him. And then they end up giving both Alex Highsmith and TJ Watt half a sack, but it's usually the guy who taps him first who gets a sack. So I don't understand how they did that right there, giving him only half a sack and not a full sack, but that's what they decided to do. Maybe they want to bring down the sack total numbers, but whatever. He's still leading the league right now in sacks, even though this has been a down year for him. Just looking at the overall production per game, it's kind of been a down year for him in terms of the sack total, in terms of having multiple sacks per game. Usually he gets multiple sacks per game, but usually now this season, it seems like more of his sacks are coming in bunches, and then maybe not one game, and then bunches, not one game. But TJ Watt overall, even though I did say this is considered a down year for him, he's still leading the league in sacks. So you just see how much he produces at a high level, and he just doesn't get the credit he deserves. So that's what I have to say about TJ Watt and this story. And now moving over to the Jalen Warren situation, because after the game, Jalen Warren was talking to the media about the Cardinals and said that the Steelers took them lightly. So, before I get into what he actually said in the media, let me just say this. It seems like whenever the Steelers face lower competition or teams that are down in the leaderboards and in their conference, like a 2-10 Cardinals team. It seems like the Steelers always play down to their competition and never kind of blow out the bad teams, or never blow any team in general. And against the good teams, it's either they stick around and make it a one possession game towards the end, or they get blown out. So you look at the Steelers, and once again against the Cardinals, a 2-10 team, you would think that they would score a lot of points. You would think that they would win this game. But no, they played down to their competition like they have done for the last, I don't even know how long, but a very long time. They played down to their competition, and Jalen Warren said and admitted that the Steelers did take them lightly and did play down to the competition. This is what he had to say. I didn't know they were the third worst team in the NFL, but yeah, I guess just take them lightly, lighter than we should have. And then Jalen Warren was asked a follow-up question to his answer, which basically the reporter asked if it was a preparation issue and why the game unfolded the way it was. And he responded by saying, yeah, it could be. So basically he's admitting that they played down to the competition, they took them lightly, and it could have been a game planning issue based off the coaches not preparing them for the game and not getting them ready. So that's what Jalen Warren had to say. And you never like it when a player kind of admits this to the media. Even though it's true, you don't want him saying it to the media because then the coaches and other people are going to be asked about it. But he's answered it this way. He told the truth. And that's exactly what happened. Today, in Mike Tomlin's press conference about last week's game, and also about this upcoming matchup against the Patriots, he was asked about those comments and the Steelers taking him lightly. And he kind of ignored them. He kind of pushed them to a side and said, no, that did not happen. We did not take them lightly. We just lost this game. But like I said, you never want a player admitting this, because then the coaches are asked about it the day after and the other players are asked about it, and then it becomes a big story and it's covered by everyone. Also, Jalen Warren had one last quote. This is what he had to say. No, not the lowest of the low. It's just I think we expected to win instead of wanting to work to win. So just get back in the lab and get right. So right there, he's also saying that they expected to win this game because the Cardinals are such a bad team. So they didn't put the work in and the effort in needing to win this game. And they just went off base skill and based off of the letters and the numbers in the conference, saying that they're in last place and that they have a 2-10 record. So the Steelers went based off that. They didn't go based off every team in the NFL given any Sunday could win a football game. Obviously, the team was not prepared, and Jalen Warren admits this. So this kind of just proves the point that the Steelers do play down to competition and that their team just doesn't get up for these bad matchups. And whether it's the coaches not getting them ready in terms of the game plan or whatever, because it seems like this has happened for the last however many years, where the team's just not ready to play against bad teams, and Jalen Warren says that it could be a coaching issue as well. Not just the players not being able to get up and not putting the effort in. He says it could be that, but it also could be the game planning issue. So the Steelers, whatever it is, whether they face the bad teams again, whether they face the good teams, they just need to be ready for the competition, because any given Sunday, like I said, any team can win. And the Steelers have another easy matchup on paper. The Patriots, this week, Thursday. They scored 0 points their last game against the Chargers just yesterday. So you would think that the Steelers have a chance to win this game, and should they win this game, but they should not go into it saying, hey, the New England Patriots are like in last place in their division, their team sucks, they don't score any points, we're going to win this game, we don't need to put in effort. We all know it's Bill Belichick and the Patriots. They always play good against the Steelers, so the Steelers need to be ready for whatever happens. They can't go into that game thinking they're going to win, because that's when they're going to lose, and if they lose that game, then their season is definitely over, and they have no chance at all. They need to win this game. I said it last week, that they need to win the Cardinals game, but they definitely need to win this Patriots game, because after that, you can't expect to win other games if you can't beat the bad teams. But hopefully they get up for this game on Thursday and have a quick turnaround, even though they have a lot of injured players. And Mike Tomlin, Jalen Warren, they're ready for this game. But with that being said, that's the end of this video. But let me know down in the comments below, how do you feel about both these topics I covered? TJ Watt saying that the NFL has something against him, and also Jalen Warren saying that the team was just not ready and they're playing down to their competition. Let me know your thoughts on both those topics. And also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel down below as well if you like Steelers content, analysis, reports. Like the video, turn on post notifications down below for the channel as well, so you get notified whenever I post game breakdowns, breaking news, reactions, everything like that, so you can stay up to date. So turn notifications, like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys all later. Till next time, I'm out. Peace.